Very good morning once again from the sports desk. Bafana Bafana begin their quest for their first World Cup qualification, non-automatic qualification, since the 2002 showpiece. South Africa did last play in the global football competition in 2010, of course, but the country's appearance there, as you would know, was through the benefits of hosting it. Now, Hugo Broos and his men are looking to become one of 48 teams competing in the US, Canada and Mexico in 3 years' time. They kick off their qualifying campaign against Benin at the Moses Mabhida Stadium this Saturday. Then they'll be taking on Rwanda in Rwanda next Tuesday. Joining me now to look ahead to these two assignments is Soccer Laduma's senior reporter, Tshepang Mailwane. Tshepang, a very good morning to you. Thank you so much for your time. This gives South Africa a better opportunity than qualification campaigns gone past for them to now finally qualify for a World Cup, since a lot of us last saw them do so, when we were in primary school. At least I'll speak for myself. Is this really a realistic opportunity for South Africa to qualify? Do they now, at this point, have no excuse to not qualify?
Good morning, Moran, and good morning to your viewers. I mean, it is obviously a bigger chance than previous World Cup campaigns because you've got 9 slots for African teams now compared to the previous 5. Which means that there's 4 more. But it obviously doesn't make the task easier because you still have a group stage campaign that you need to play. And we are in the same group as Nigeria, a team that we've struggled against before. So as much as there are more slots, we have to finish top of the group, which is not going to be an easy task. But from what I've seen with Bafana Bafana in recent times, it does give me hope that, we can make it compared to what we saw in the past.
The teams we have in our group are not going to be easy, Zimbabwe, Rwanda, Benin, Lesotho. Yes, Nigeria are the ones we are really going to be battling for that top spot with, but it's these minnows that in about, give or take, the last 5 to 10 years, South Africa has not really done well against. We talk Mauritania, we talk Gambia, we talk Cape Verde Islands in an AFCON. We talk Ethiopia at one point, we talk Sierra Leone. We have not done well against teams that a lot of South Africans would have thought, it's a good 6-0, 7-0, 5-0, and yet you come up Seychelles, where you are held to a draw in the Seychelles. Should this be the focus now for Broos and the boys, that beat the so-called minnows and beat them handsomely so that when you come up against Nigeria, a draw can be sufficient for you to finish top of the group?
True. I mean, we had friendlies recently against Eswatini and Namibia, and we could have had good results there, but we didn't. I mean, we face Benin this weekend, and I think we need to take advantage of their poor form. I checked their recent results, and they haven't done so well. I saw they lost to Madagascar. They drew with Sierra Leone in October. And before that, they had a few bad results. So this is a time that we need to take advantage. We are playing at home, and it's always good to start well. You get these 6 points in these first 2 games. It makes a world of difference. Rwanda, I saw they played out a goalless draw with Zimbabwe yesterday. They've got a point, and that was at home. So that means that we can actually go to Rwanda and try get something there. And it's best that we try get a win. Once you get a win and you've got 6 points, you put yourself in such a good position going forward in the qualifiers, because we don't want that situation where in the end we're now taking out calculators. You know how it is with us and the national team. You want to be so comfortable towards the end of the campaign that because you've done the job early on. So these first 2 games are crucial. Get these 6 points. And it's also a good way of starting to prepare for AFCON. You want to go into the AFCON knowing that you've secured your 6 points in the World Cup qualifiers, and you've got your confidence high, and players, are motivated to do well at AFCON.
Talk to me about Hugo Broos' team. And I talk team where there are a number of consistent featurers in Hugo Broos' side. You look at the likes of Nico Mobi. You look at, of course, your Veli Motwas there as the backup goalkeeper to the national team captain. You look at a Themba Zwane that's always there. You look at a Mihlali Mayambela that is always there. Talk to me about these guys. And then while you're thinking about that, the new introductions, the guys that a lot of people wouldn't have expected to see in the national team given the clubs they're playing for. Where do you see Hugo Broos trying to go in terms of how he's been selecting his teams?
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm going to start with some of the new guys. I mean, there's Aswin Apolis from Polokwane City. You've got Ngube from who's this? Skukune. And these are guys sometimes you'd expect to come in during friendly matches. But now when they come in during qualifiers, you wonder if they'll be able to handle that sort of pressure. I've seen new players come in. They've come in during friendly matches, which gives you some time to adjust to what the national team is all about and what happens there. But when you come in for qualifiers, you know that you have to hit the ground running, because that's where results are really required. So it's going to be interesting to see how Broos brings in some of these new players into the team. I mean, a guy like Evidence Mahopa, okay, he's been there before, so he probably doesn't need a lot of time to adjust. And hopefully that goal in the derby will sort of spur him on to get the goals for the national team, because Lyle Foster's not there. Zakhele Lepasa has been struggling for form or to find the back of the net. So we need someone up front who can get the goals for us. But like you mentioned, the guys who've been there before, your Percy Taus, who are going to be important, Teboho Mokoena, who's been fantastic for Mamelodi Sundowns, and Themba Zwane. I got a lot of respect for Themba Zwane, a guy at his age, 34, still doing what he does and doing it consistently, week in and out. So he's going to be one of the key guys. Ronwen Williams has been doing well for Sundowns, keeping clean sheets. And one of the best performers that I've seen recently, this season so far, is Khuliso Mudau. He's been doing so well at right back. And, you know, that game against Ivory Coast, one of the best that I've seen him play, either at Bafana or Sundowns. So he's also one of the key players. Aubrey Mudiba has been doing well for Sundowns. So these are the guys that, you know, you're going to need to come to the party on the day, on both days when we play Benin and Rwanda, so that we get the points that we need.
We can certainly hope that some of the guys that play for other clubs can, you know, lean and take inspiration from what Mamelodi Sundowns continue to do on the African continent, particularly with the success of the African Football League. But we'll leave it there with you, Tshepang. Thank you so much. Let me allow you to go on, of course, and prepare, of course, your work for what's said to be coming up this weekend. That is the senior reporter at Soccer Laduma, Tshepang Mailwane, just throwing ahead to what we can expect from Bafana Bafana as they begin their campaign to qualify for the 2026 World Cup happening in the Americas. They start this weekend in Moses Mabhida Stadium against Benin, West African team that Tshepang says has not been doing too well. So South Africa, there is an opportunity for you to hit the ground running positively, get the first 3 points against Benin, get the second 3 points against Rwanda, and who knows what happens going forward, because we also do have AFCON that we need to start focusing and thinking about and preparing for, because that's another tournament that we have an opportunity to do quite well in. But that is where we leave it from the sports desk, of course, for today's edition of the South African Morning.